Hey there, welcome to Hermit Haven. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jackie. We're so excited to invite you into our safe space. Hermit Haven is like a cozy little hideout where we can celebrate being confident in ourselves as we find happiness in quiet moments.
So grab your favorite blanket and your favorite drink, and let's dive into today's episode.
Hi, I'm Jackie. Welcome back to Hermit Haven.
Hi, I'm Ashley. We're so excited to have you this week. We are chit-chatting about starting where you are and your journey because it's not a timeline, right? It's not like, oh, well, if I didn't do this thing, I have to now go backwards to do that thing to move forward. It's not a timeline. It doesn't have to be a certain order. It is whatever you make of it. So where you are in your journey, you can keep going and start whatever you want to start. So a good example, I feel like, is just like the thought of like, okay, like just because I didn't complete college doesn't mean I have to go back to college to be successful in what I want to do, even though really what I want to do is just spend time with my baby and teach him all the things. But I don't have to be successful to do that, right? Instead, I went and got experience, right? Sometimes it's like creating your own timeline even.
Yeah, I feel like my timeline is completely different from where I thought it would be, which I guess is like good too, right? Like you're supposed to grow and change. And I mean, but some people stay on the same path. But yeah, I always thought that I would, and got my master's degree, that I would just have like a big corporate career. Like that's all I really knew. So I thought that I'd have a corporate career and like be climbing the corporate ladder. I was like, oh yeah, when I have kids, they're just going to go to daycare. Like it's no big deal, like whatever. But then things changed. And then when I realized I had more freedom making money without being at a corporate job, then that's kind of where everything led me. Like I definitely never thought I would be in, in network marketing, and then I never thought that that would be the thing that would allow me to be a stay-at-home mom. Like it was paying for Glenn to go back to school and all these things. Like you just never, the point is you never know what your timeline is going to take you to. And sometimes I think we get like nervous, like especially if someone loses a job, obviously like that's horrible and you're like freaking out and you're like, oh my gosh. But you know, and I don't know, and not everyone will agree with me, but I feel like things are supposed to happen for a reason. I know some people hate that, but like I believe that. I just believe, like, I trust that God has a plan for me. You just have to trust. Like, if you have that belief, like, things are going to work
Mm-hmm.
out. If you have that belief all the time, the universe, God, whatever you believe, is going to come around you and lead you on the right path. So you don't have to be scared or nervous that you're behind, which I'm not saying I'm perfect, because I definitely feel this episode, I feel it hardcore. I am constantly like, oh my gosh, I have not been working a traditional job that I thought I would. So what happens when my kids go back to school? Like, what if one day I don't know, like, but I don't know where this is going to take me. And maybe this podcast, like, this is going to be the thing that we might make a ton of money. You just don't know like where life is going to take you. And so I don't know. I'm rambling, but all I'm trying to say is like this is something that really hits home for me, and I get nervous all the time about like what does the future look like? Like what if? But you just can't worry about that. You just have to know like what do you want, and
Yeah.
you just kind of move forward, right, with life.
No, and I want to admit something. Like I am so embarrassed. Like at one point, like I felt like I was so embarrassed by like going like I'm moving in with my boyfriend. Like that wasn't the timeline I was taught about. Like that wasn't the timeline I was told about. Like telling my parents, like I thought I was like 12 years old, like being like, I'm so sorry, I broke my glass window or something crazy. Like, like I
Yeah.
didn't know how to tell my parents, right? Like because I wasn't following the timeline. It was like I had to build this confidence in myself that it didn't matter, that there was a timeline, right? Like this was my timeline, right? I don't know how I got here. I just trust that Hashem put me in this timeline, and I just have to follow this path, right? I think it's like I don't know if it's just like my very religious growing up Jewish brain, but like I've always taught like the one thing my dad has always said to me, and I think that's just like what we were taught is you just have to trust in Hashem. You just have to
Yeah.
trust in Hashem. Like you just have to trust in God. Like God's gonna take you where you need to be. Like it doesn't, and I think that's where like even when I felt like embarrassed or like I don't know how to tell someone like, hey, this is what I'm doing, right? And I think too, like I have this dilemma, and I know this is similar but not similar, but I have this dilemma too when I'm like going out and eating at non-kosher restaurants and posting about it because I feel like there's someone Jewish that's super religious watching and be like, oh, I didn't think that was gonna be her timeline. Like I literally like it's weird, but like these are the things that go through my brain,
Yeah.
right? Like And I think over time, I learned that that's cool that you didn't think that was going to be my timeline, or that's cool, like you're judging me, or that's cool, like that's your feelings. But I started realizing that just because other people put these ideas on me, or these were the things I were taught that were right, quote unquote, even though we know like what is right for some might not be right for others. Right. And I think that concept is a hard concept to be taught when you were never really taught that. And I think over time, I realized that I'm not like my peers. I'm not like the people around me. I'm not like the timeline that someone tried to give me in the timeline I was told. I'm Ashley. And I'm going to
Yeah.
continue to curve my timeline in 50 different directions and somehow make it all work out. And even though I always feel behind, I realize it's just a season. It's literally just a season. And, and I think too, something I think about, and this might just be my like really deep brain, and it might start it. I think a lot of this deep thought started when I was in middle school and they made us read the book, Five People You Meet in Heaven. Like, I want to say that book changed my life. The Five People You Meet in Heaven by, oh my God, I have a blank right now who it's by, but I'll put that if you're listening to this episode, that book will be in our newsletter that just came out last week. So if you guys are listening to this episode this week, it's coming after our newsletter. Go back, get that newsletter. I'll have it on our bookshelf. The Five People to Me in Heaven. It's for children, young adults. Like it's really like literally changed my life. But in that book, they talk about it's about this guy that dies and he meets five people in heaven. And he doesn't realize like how these people are connected to him, some of these people. And the one story that really sticks to me is this guy. He was playing in like this. He killed this like I don't even remember if it was a kid, if it was a boy. Like there's so many different stories at this point. Like my brain kind of needs to go reread the book. But he basically killed this person by accident. He was playing ball in the street, and the ball. He didn't realize that the ball caused a car accident.
Mm,
And like he was so little, he didn't realize what happened.
yeah.
And I made me realize that, like, unfortunately, like this guy caused someone else's timeline to end.
Yeah.
And it made me realize, like, how we're all connected and how life is so short and how we have to just, like, kind of like take it all in, take it by the moment, like, do the things, right? And I think that was what made me realize, like, these deeper thoughts that's where I was going with this. Sorry, I had to like blank. I was like, I know I'm going somewhere really good with this, but then maybe these deeper thoughts. Like, what if you didn't come? What if like you're stuck in the same class because you don't have the right teacher, right? And until you have the right teacher that can teach to you, you're gonna be stuck, right? And it's gonna be maybe it's gonna be switching schools, right? Or maybe whatever it is, or or things. I think things even deeper. Like, what if the person that's supposed to teach you to help you pass the class you're supposed to pass hasn't even graduated from school yet and they need 2 more years to graduate, and until they graduate you won't be able to pass that class. So even though you feel stuck and you keep failing the same class, maybe it's because the person that's supposed to help you move forward just hasn't gone to where they need to be. Like sometimes that's what I think about, like you
Yeah.
need everyone's connected in that way, like you right, like we don't understand why something's not happening for us, but maybe it's because we need something else to happen around us for that thing to happen for us. Like,
Yeah. I think about that in like the car sometimes. I'm like, why is this person going so slow? And I'm like, maybe if I would have, gone faster, like I would have gotten hurt. I don't know, like you just, I don't know. I think about that sometimes. It like helps me actually to like calm down in the moment. And yeah, I feel like I was going to say something else, but then I forgot. But
the honest
I
truth.
yeah, no, this happens to me all the time. I feel like these timelines were created by society, and then we just feel like we're supposed to follow them. And I think there's some good in having like a plan for sure, but also like Ashley said, like what is good for one person isn't going to be good for another person. And it's kind of like in the movies whenever you see like any movie that has to do with time travel, they're like, no, you can't do this, or it's going to change this in the future.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's just like that. It's like if things didn't work out the way that they worked out, it probably would have been worse or something would have happened. Like things are just, I don't know. It's just such a like a things
It's
are
such
supposed to happen as they are. Even some things that are horrible, like they're supposed to happen as they are for a reason.
Yeah. It's so crazy too that like I feel like it's like the one of the deepest conversations in reality because it's just a crazy thought to think about like every little piece around us, even though we have complete control of our day and we have complete control of what we're doing and where we're going, right? And there is free will, it's
Yeah.
crazy to think that all these little bits and pieces still control us, still make out the outcome, still make out the end result.
Yeah.
And I think too, like you're saying, like, society told us, like, even in the Jewish religion, right? That's what I grew up in. We're told we're getting married. We're told this is, when you get married, you're supposed to have, there, because there's all these mitzvahs, there's all these things created around it. There's all these like laws, there's all these rules, there's all the like people, and I know this, like, I don't want to sound negative or horrible here, but like people don't celebrate sometimes. Like people celebrate that we had a baby, right? But nobody celebrate that we've been together for 5 years, right? Because we're not married. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. It's like you're not worthy of having that celebration because you didn't go and like sign a paper,
yeah.
even though you have a child. Like,
Like, and it's like, well, what if I got married and this was our 5th year anniversary, wedding anniversary? How many people would have messaged us happy anniversary?
right. Yeah.
Like, why? And I think that is something too. I think about too is breaking the belief we were once told, like being able to be retaught, right? I think this is a great topic to go in with timeline. Like it's reteaching yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was told this, but maybe this is good for me and that's okay, right? And I think really this is like this generation is breaking that too, right? Like we
Yeah.
see all the time, like this, people be like, I'm gonna commit to this person even though this is what I was told, right? Or I'm gonna commit to this even though this is what I wasn't told, right? And I love seeing people around us really commit and not listen to what other people's, timelines are and journeys.
Yeah.
I think too, once you start like really believing in yourself and loving yourself and really taking all the tools we've been talking about for the last few weeks and the last months and the last weeks and the last years, like you start realizing what is a timeline in reality, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. If you're loving everything that you're doing in your life and you are like working on your confidence to be like, I know that this person thinks it's weird that I'm XYZ, right? Like, as soon as you tell, I've been seeing so many videos lately on like not telling other people what your goals are, what your plans are, things like that, because other people try to deter you. And it's not always because they're like trying to deter you, like trying to knock you down. Sometimes it could be like a jealousy thing, but I think it's because if we don't think that we would be good at whatever it is, then, we're scared. And so we project it on other people. But regardless, like I had a whole point and I kind of lost it. No, but I just think like, dang, I don't know. I was going somewhere with that. That was a good point too, though.
okay, well, while you think of that point, I have a good point too. I think too, we have to like also accept that like the timeline we're trying to build might not be for us.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to be this manager at a company and you've been working there for 10 plus years and it's not working, and you're just like, but I want to be a manager so bad, but maybe the timeline of working there to be a manager is not the timeline for you. Like maybe finding a place where they want you to be a manager is the timeline for you. And I think, it's so many times, and I feel like that also comes with this like conversation piece is the emotions, right? Like accepting that I'm not where I want to be in my head, or accepting that I put in so much effort to the point that I am in tears, that this is just, I can't figure this out. And then once I have it, it's not in the timeline where I thought it was going to be. And so my life feels different, right? And like it doesn't meet, like this is what happened with Disney. I feel like for me, like when I worked at Disney, I was supposed to start working at Disney in 2019, like 2020, right? And of course, crazy world happened and it just got delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed. And the time I started working there, it was like 2022.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like a big difference, but in 2 years, a lot of life has happened and a lot of things have changed. And I started realizing that I wasn't the person that I like was when I wanted to work here. Like, if that makes sense. Like, and eventually
Yeah.
I left Disney because I realized as much as I love being there, was not in my time. Like, it wasn't where I want to be anymore. Like, this wasn't part of my timeline. Like, I think I had this like itch. I had to fulfill this like want because I wanted it to be part of
Yeah.
my life. I wanted to be part of my life story because that's sometimes what it is. And I fulfilled this itch and I enjoyed my time and I enjoyed my experience. But I realized who I was when I applied and who I was when I had this dream is not where I want to be anymore. And this is not where I
Yeah.
want, and I don't want this in my timeline anymore. I don't want this in
The
my
little thing
journey
is like a
anymore.
it's like a stepping stone.
Yeah.
I tell that to them all the time. Like each thing is like a little stepping stone, and it takes you from one thing to the next. And everything there's a reason for it all. So like it all gives you some sort of learning lesson or
Mhm.
growth or whatever. I remembered what I was where I was originally trying to lead myself to with my thoughts. I was going to say that for me, the way that I get stop worrying as much, I guess, about, the future and like timeline and like, oh my gosh, feeling behind and not feeling where I'm supposed to be. And like sometimes our worth can get caught up in our timeline. It can get caught up in like the career we thought we'd have or like the
Mhm.
family we thought we'd have, or it can get caught up in that. And so for what helps me besides realizing like God has a plan, but like, besides that is practicing my self confidence, practicing gratitude. And the reason that those help me is because it helps me to know that like the choices that I'm making are the right choices for me, even if they are not like society's right choices, or even if they're not the choices like where I thought I would be, even if I feel behind, like I work still on my confidence in having goals of some sort and working towards them and actually like working on them and not just saying I'm going to do this but like actually doing it. That's how you build confidence. And so that really does help me, like being grateful for what I have now and where I am now. All of that really helps. I've been working on this for a long time, so all of that really helps me to be okay with my timeline. And I'm not trying to say I'm like upset with where I am right now. It's just sometimes I do feel that way, and I'm like, oh, look at these people and they have all this, and you start comparing. Like that's normal. And so that's really helpful for me is just practicing like my confidence in my decision making and
Yeah.
where I am and being so grateful for what I have, even though I want more,
Mhm.
being grateful for where I am now too.
But ain't that a normal feeling to want more?
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah,
Like that's
absolutely.
a normal feeling. And I think, when I think like that's a really big thing right there is like, okay, when we look at the timeline, it's like it's in sections, right? We look at the past, we're like,
Hmm.
I don't know. Will that work out? Did that work out? That really worked out, right? We're always like going back, we're trying to take notes, we're always like, and sometimes we look back and we're like, oh my God, like that horrible time actually was a good time, right? Like sometimes we don't realize in the moment how good something is, right? And we go back and we look at the timeline but we don't realize that like what we're seeing in that timeline is what we're feeling in the present. And I think
Yes.
so many and then you have your present, right? So what you're feeling in the past is what you're feeling in the present. And you have your present, right? You have your present timeline and you're either fighting against that timeline because you don't like where it is. And so like you're saying, like you're trying to like compare your worth to it and you're like fighting against it. You're like, oh, I can't believe I'm only like just doing this thing. Like, I can't believe I only got this far. Like, I can't believe we're not even here yet. Like, and then there's the future timeline. And then it's like, okay, that future piece is so important right there. Do you look at the future and say, I need to have the $1 million house with the big yacht with the big pool because I'm going to be the biggest champion? Or do you look at that future piece and say, wow, the things I have right now in the moment can bring me even more peace and joy? Like, I have an amazing 9-month-old son. Wow, in the future, we can be going on little road trips together, right? Like, I think that's the future piece. Does your future really connect with what you're doing now? And it doesn't have to be like the same exact dream, but like, are you really connecting that future? Or are you seeing this future that is honestly unrealistic? And it can be realistic, right? Like, people put on their vision boards big houses, big things, and they do happen, right? And it just takes time, right?
Yeah.
But are you harping up on the unrealistic part because you can't see the how it connects to your present right now? And then you feel even more behind, right? Because you're like, there's no way I'm going to make it to that $5 million house because I am not even working enough hours. Right? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, every piece of your timeline can destroy another piece if you keep harping on that little piece.
So on this exact topic, if you want a really good book recommendation,
Yes.
I don't even know if it's a book or not, I told Ashley I've been listening to this book. I've already listened to it. I say I don't know if it's a book because I think it is an actual book too, but it's an interview. It's technically an interview. And this guy is being interviewed and he's like very well known for like mindset stuff and I don't know. Anyway, I have it on audio, so I listen to it. So it's like a guy interviewing him. That's why. Anyway, you can go look it up. It's called Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life. And I've been obsessed with this book for so long, but I'm listening to it for 30 minutes every single day, and my goal is for 60 days. But he talks about the entire book is him talking about how you have like you can want all these things, but until you change your mindset, then it's hard for you to change your life. So to change your
Mhm.
paradigm is like the the world that you're in and like the way you think, like it's all intertwined into like your
Yeah.
little world, your paradigm. And so you have to be able, and it's really hard to change sometimes. It's kind of like when someone tries to lose weight and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna do the things, and every single time they don't do the things, right? It's like you're stuck in a certain mindset paradigm and you have to change it in order to actually be able to do all the things. Anyway, but he does talk in there about how nothing is unrealistic. I just freaking love this man because he is literally like, I wrote down a quote the other day and he said, anything good can always be better. And he talks about how nothing is unrealistic and how if you can think it, you can do it. I don't even know if this is really related to what we're talking about, but when you were just saying that, I
Yeah.
was like, it reminded me of him. But
It
like,
is though.
I'm obsessed with this book, you
But
guys.
it's so
Change your
true.
paradigm, change your life. This guy, Bob Proctor, is the one that's being interviewed. It's so freaking
It's so true. And like, going back to my thing, like you don't want to harp on the future. So yeah, you can have that $1 million house, but if you just put that on the board and then nothing right now in the present has anything to do with it, and you're not thinking about it and you're not working towards it, like
good. Right.
it's never gonna happen. And then when you're
Yep.
harping that this future that I built for myself in my head that was never realistic isn't happening, right? That's when you fall apart,
Well,
right?
and
And you don't move
that's the
forward.
issue with a paradigm is like you want it, but you don't really believe you can have it, and so therefore you won't have it.
Yeah.
And the book is so good, you guys. You have to go get it and let's do
You
it. But
should. Are you gonna put that on your bookshelf on our bookshelf
yes,
in the
I
newsletter? Okay,
definitely
perfect.
am because I've
So
been
guys, again, we have a
me and
newsletter.
Bob. We're BFFs now.
I love that, Bob. You. We have a
And Bob.
newsletter, like I said, a couple like rambles before. So check that out. Some of our favorites are definitely gonna be in there. But I truly like I think at the end of the day, like how special is it that we are so different and so unique and that we can have different timelines and that
Yeah.
we can have different journeys. And the best part about this is when you truly get to a point of peace with yourself and a point of peace with others, then you start like realizing like how cool is it that I get to hear Jackie's timeline? How cool is it that I get to hear like Matt's timeline? Like how cool is it that I'm part of their timeline and their journey? Like I am part of who they are becoming. I get to witness that,
Yeah.
right?
And we
And they
get
get to
to change
witness.
our timeline whenever we want to.
Yes,
Hmm.
I think too. Like I love that you get to change your timeline whenever you want to.
Yeah. Whenever
Me
you
too.
want, you just change it. Yeah.
Just change it.
It's true.
Just go and change it. I think too, as a friend or like I don't know, someone. Even if you're not a friend, like as a human being, your job is to support someone else's like journey, like their timeline, their journey, right? And so, like, it doesn't matter if it doesn't make sense to you why they're not following the timeline you have for them in the head or the timeline you were told we were all supposed to have, right? Your journey is supposed to be like, your job is supposed to support them. Like your job is supposed to be like, wow, I love that that's your goal. I love that that's where you're going. Like, and not just like, wow, I love when that's where you're going. Ask questions. My mother-in-law told me this. She was so cute. She's like, I love how you always just want a little bit, like you always want to know just like even the slightest little extra details, but ask the questions. Like, for example, not just like, oh wow, I love that instead of going like, for example, I don't know, this is just a random example, but I love instead of going to college, you are going to go backpack for Europe. Like instead of saying I love it, ask like what country are you most excited about? Like what made you decide that you want to go see all the countries? Like, are you going to be thinking about college while you're traveling or are you just going to like not think about it? Like ask the questions, get to know people through their timelines and their journeys. You will really understand someone through the decisions of why they didn't take the same journey and timeline as everyone else around you. But let me tell you, the most just like I remember I had a friend. We're not friends obviously anymore, but I had a friend and I remember she asked me like pretty much every couple days, when are you and Matt getting married? When are you and Matt getting married? Like, do I need to talk to Matt about you two getting married? And I'm just like,
You Goldie Hawn is not married and they've been together forever.
I'm just like, that A is a private conversation between me and Matt, and B, like, I've already told you 40 times, like, we're happy where we are. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. But,
Yeah,
like, why are you putting pressure on me to change my timeline to match the timeline of yours?
yeah,
Like, I think that right there is so important. Like, she taught me such a big lesson. Like, I'm not your judge. I'm not the judge of your life. I'm not your jury. I'm not your parent. Like, that's not me. I'm not that. No, I am the person that's going to sit there during your story hour and be like, yeah, that was the best story ever. Tell it again. Tell it again. That's who we should be. We are not the judge. We are not the jury. We are the person see. We are the spectator. We are the cheerleader. We are the person stay in the crowd, be like, you go, get that timeline, get that journey, get wherever you want to go. And if it does not look perfect, yes, you stumble. Yes, you might have, lost people on the way, lost goals, lost whatever, gained this, gained that. Beautiful, amazing. You are living life. Baruch Hashem. Like, thank God that you have this beautiful opportunity to live life and to experience all these different things. If it's bad, good, mediocre, blah, boring, to see things that you might have never seen. Like, thank God you're able to live life, because
yeah,
we don't always all have this opportunity. And thank God we don't live in a bubble where just all day we stare at a black screen, like, and we're just like, what do I do with myself? What do I do with myself? Like, thank God, like, we are past like the age where we live in the forest. Like, even though you might like want to live in the forest, like, we have all of these opportunities to go get a job. We have all of these opportunities to like go have a house, have a family, get married, like not get married, have a
yeah.
kid, have two kids, have eight kids, like have a monkey, have a gorilla. Like, I don't know. We all have these opportunities and experiences. And if you want something, you can figure out a way. Like, let's say you want to own a star, you can go buy a star now. If you want to own a whale, you can own a whale. Like, if you want something, you'll find a way. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's crazy too. Like, even like the science, like people trying to have babies through IVF, through, all these different things. Like, we didn't have this back in the day. Like, how
Yeah,
blessed are we that the world's evolving, that our
yeah.
timelines can get thicker and bigger and longer and have more experiences. So, at the end of the day, if it does not look where you think you're supposed to be, if it doesn't look like what your friends are supposed to think it's supposed to be, who cares? Like Jackie said, you have the ability to change it whenever you want.
You know what's funny about this topic that I was just thinking about is like how boring and how much harder would life be if we all had to follow a specific timeline. Like if we had to follow a certain, way of going up the ladder or whatever, like if we had to all
Oh
follow
my
the same
God.
thing, that would be so hard. We'd be like, oh, I can't get here because I have to first do these steps. But like, there isn't that. This
Yeah.
is not really there. This is fake. So like, you could literally jump from here to here if you want to because there's no, you know what I mean? It's not real.
Imagine. Okay, now like if we take this theory, I'm just making it really silly, but imagine like every Friday you had to eat your chicken baked. And like if you didn't eat your chicken baked, like you didn't follow the steps of the world. Like that's how like I even think about
Yeah.
like it like just as silly as
Yeah.
that. Like, okay, you didn't, so now you can't eat chicken, you can't eat dinner because you didn't bake your chicken. Like
So funny. Yeah. I mean, this is really helping me out a lot because I do this like is a really hard topic for me sometimes. Like one, not all the time, but like once in a while I've gotten a lot better about it. But like it's not even real. Why do we worry about it?
I think too, if let's even shrink this down. Our timeline of the day, right? We have like a few more minutes with you guys, and I really want to shrink this down. What about the timeline of the day? When something doesn't go the way it's supposed to go, now you throw away the whole schedule, the whole routine. How many times does that happen, right?
Yeah.
The day today makes the rest of the timeline. So
Yeah.
so it's okay, maybe you didn't get
Start
to
over.
because
Not start over, but like
what?
no, I was gonna say start over, but I don't like love the term start over. So I was like maybe not start over, but like
A
you
reset.
could just yeah, like realign, right? I love the word align. I feel like that's a good word for 2026. But
Yeah.
yeah, just like realign, like be like, okay, well, okay, hold on, recalibrate, right? And like continue on.
I think sometimes, like when I'm having a lazy morning, like an extra lazy morning, and I just don't want to put on my clothes, like I just want to put on pajamas. I just accept that's what my body needs at that point. Like I accept that that
Yeah,
is part of my timeline today. Like yeah, I might have needed to deep clean some other random thing. Like that thing is gonna wait. But if I don't, my body's obviously saying I need to recover. So I'm going to follow
Yeah.
the cues of my body
Yeah.
because, again, we make our own timeline. It's going to be what
Yeah.
it is. No matter if you clean your if you deep clean the storage cabinet today, or if you deep clean the storage cabinet on Friday, it's the same thing, right? It got done this week sometimes. Like I feel like that's part of that priority. Like, what is our priorities today? But I
Right.
think at the end of the day, just remember every day matters, every minute matters, and every second matters in your timeline. And so you need to think about in the moment, right? Like, I'm grateful for whatever this is, even if it's not matching what I want for myself next. And it did, or if it didn't match where I was in the past.
Yeah. And you can always just change it.
Yeah. I am happy where I am, and I am confident where I am, and I am confident what I am doing meets what I need. And if that matters to someone else, that's on them, not me.
And where I'm going.
Yeah. Well, we love you all. Thanks for hanging out with us. I think at the end of the day, really like go, if you're into journaling, I think a really good journal prompt is, where am I now? Ask yourself, where are you now? And then go from there, right? Like, and it's okay to say and admit, I love where I am now. And it's okay to admit, I don't love where
Yeah.
I am now. And it's okay to admit that I would love where I am now, but I want to work on myself more because I want more for myself.
Yeah.
That's always that's always a big but I want more for myself. And I love that but.
Yeah.
Want more for yourself always, and want more for your timeline and your journey, and accept wherever that is. And we'll see you next Wednesday. We'll see you every Wednesday. And if you are a new listener, let us know by liking this video. We are here on all your favorite places you can listen to us. We also have all the social medias. We have a little Facebook group where we have all these little chit chats. And we can't wait to hang out with you guys again on Hermit Haven every Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Thanks for spending time with us today and being part of our Hermit Haven community.
We hope you enjoyed our cozy chat and are inspired to embrace your inner hermit.
Remember, even in the quiet moments, you're never alone on this journey because we are truly all in this together.
So until next time, stay cozy, stay true to yourself, and keep spreading love wherever you go.
Bye for now.
We'll see you next time.